20 PGA Tour victories, multiple majors, an absolute stranglehold on the world #1 ranking. Scottie Scheffler makes golf look like a video game, but it wasn't always this way. Just a few years ago, he was ranked outside the top 75 in approach play. Then, he played around with Tiger Woods, and his entire career changed forever. Welcome to Golf Backstage. Today, we are revealing the secret set of clubs that unlocked a monster. Scheffler recently admitted that watching Tiger flight the ball at Augusta rewired his brain. He saw Tiger using the TaylorMade P-7TWs, irons Tiger designed himself. Scottie said, "I used Nike clubs for so long when Tiger was helping develop them. Why wouldn't I test his new irons with TaylorMade?" Scottie took them home to Dallas, realized he could suddenly hit completely different windows and trajectories. The P-7TWs turned a good ball striker into a historic one. The irons got him to the green, but there was still one club holding him back from total domination. We have the inside story on the exact moment Scottie finally ditched his blade putter for the TaylorMade Spider Tour X mallet, the single gear change that secured his 2026 Masters and PGA Championship victories. Subscribe and hit the bell right now. If you want to know how a simple alignment line fixed the best player in the world, click that button. Let's look at the flat stick. Here is how Tiger Woods accidentally gave Scottie Scheffler the blueprint to take over the PGA Tour.
Kind of that frustration kind of keeps going, and we went back home. I think I had maybe 2 weeks off, and we just started kind of thinking and doing some research on putting, different putters, and we ended up going with that just regular Spider putter and getting rid of the line on the ball. This week in 24, I believe I was still using the blade with the line on the ball, and so going to that mallet where I don't have to line the ball up, and it kind of gave me just a better visual for what I wanted to see, really just freed me out.
To truly understand the magnitude of this breakthrough, you have to look at the version of Scottie Scheffler that existed right before it happened. He was using a traditional blade putter. He had a super stroke grip on it, and like 90% of professional golfers, he drew a sharp, heavy black line on his golf ball. On paper, this is textbook. This is exactly what you are supposed to do. You read the slope of the green, you point the line on the ball at your intended target, you align your putter face perfectly to that line, and you execute the stroke. It is a system designed to replace human doubt with a reliable visual anchor. But equipment is entirely entirely neutral. Equipment speaks to your brain. And that blade putter, combined with that black line, was quietly whispering the wrong things to Scheffler. His overall results weren't embarrassing. He wasn't finishing in last place. He was still making millions of dollars and contending in tournaments because his ball striking was just that elite. And honestly, that is the cruelest kind of problem in professional sports: friction. It wasn't a total catastrophic collapse. It was a subtle, persistent drag that had been present for so long, it started to feel entirely normal. The friction was structural. It was built right into the foundation of his routine, which meant that hitting 1,000 putts after a tournament round was never going to fix it. You simply cannot grind your way out of a system that is fundamentally working against your own psychology.
Was never really a guy that was super good at, I don't know if lining things up is the right word, but for me, less is more typically. And so going to this blade putter just helped me almost do less, to where I always saw the path of the ball, and for some reason the line, I think for a while I tried to use it and it became more of a distraction than anything. And so going to that Spider putter just kind of cleared things up for me.
Here is where the logic of professional golf breaks down, and where Scheffler's mental struggle became terrifyingly clear. Scheffler later revealed the darkest part of using that line on his golf ball. The line wasn't just a guide, it had become a harsh judge of his performance. When you hit a putt with a line on the ball, a perfect stroke makes the line roll seamlessly end over end. It looks like a solid black tire rolling toward the hole. But if you miss-hit the putt even a fraction of a millimeter, the line wobbles, it flashes, it looks messy. Scheffler confessed that his perfectionism was eating him alive. He admitted that there were times when he would hit a putt and the ball would go directly into the hole. A successful putt. But because he saw the line wobble on its way to the cup, his brain would immediately panic. He would stand there, after making a birdie, thinking, wait, did I hit that putt really good? He was expecting absolute perfection out of himself on every single stroke. The line had transformed from a helpful alignment aid into a polygraph test that he was failing, even when he made the putt. When your equipment makes you feel like a failure after a successful outcome, you are trapped in a psychological prison. The line had stopped narrowing his focus. It had become a magnifying glass for his deepest insecurities.
Kind of that frustration kind of keeps going, and we went back home. I think I had maybe 2 weeks off, and we just started kind of thinking and doing some research on putting, different putters, and we ended up going with that just regular spider putter and getting rid of the line on the ball. This week in 24, I believe I was still using the blade with the line on the ball, and so going to that mallet where I don't have to line the ball up and it kind of gave me just a better visual for what I wanted to see, really just freed me up.
After a highly frustrating stretch of tournaments, Scheffler went back home to Dallas. He took 2 weeks off. He and his team did something that most elite athletes completely resist. They stopped fiercely defending their process, and they started questioning it. They realized that the line on the golf ball was a trap. Scheffler admitted, I was never really a guy that was super good at lining things up. The line became more of a distraction than anything. Let's break down what that actually means on the golf course. A putting routine at the tour level isn't just a set of physical mechanics. It is a sequence of narrowing mental states. Every single step is designed to eliminate outside noise, until the only thing left in your brain is the path between the putter and the hole. For Scheffler, the line was violently interrupting that sequence. He would put the ball down, he would stand over it, and right before he pulled the trigger, his brain would look down and ask, is that line perfectly straight? Did I aim it an inch too far left? Does it look right to my eyes? He was actively negotiating with the golf ball. The line became a variable to assess, doubt, and reassess, all inside the 4 agonizing seconds before he made a stroke. It was a microscopic drain on his mental energy, but that drain compounded silently over 18 holes, over 4 grueling rounds, over an entire grueling season. He was exhausting himself before he even moved his arms. So, Scheffler made a ruthless, brilliant decision. He removed the negotiation entirely. He showed up to the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill with a brand new weapon in his bag. It was a TaylorMade Spider Tour X mallet putter with an L-neck hosel. It was wider, heavier, and significantly more forgiving than his old blade. But the biggest change wasn't the metal in his hands. It was the urethane on the grass. When he marked his ball on the first green, there was no line. It was completely blank. Those two decisions together didn't just change his equipment profile. They fundamentally altered his internal experience of standing over a golf ball. Look at the broadcast footage from that specific tournament. The entire rhythm of his process changed instantly. Before the switch, address the ball, stare intensely at the line, verify the line, second-guess the line, hesitate, and finally stroke it. After the switch, look at the hole. Look at the blank white ball. Stroke it. The internal negotiation was entirely gone. The putts inside 10 feet stopped feeling like terrifying coin flips. They started looking inevitable. Scheffler said the spider putter freed him up. The wider, heavier mallet gave his eyes a visual picture they could trust without interrogating it. The total absence of the line removed the toxic perfectionism that was draining his battery. He realized a profound truth about his own brain. For me, less is more. To understand just how lethal this subtraction strategy was, we have to look at the cold, hard math. The data tells a story of a completely unprecedented turnaround. In the 2023 season, Scottie Scheffler ranked 162nd on the PGA Tour in strokes gained putting. He was losing nearly a third of a stroke to the field every single round just on the greens. For a world #1 player, that statistic is completely unheard of. It meant he had to be historically brilliant with his irons just to stay in contention. Then came the blank ball and the spider putter in March of 2024. The immediate leap was staggering. A year after making the switch, he had gained roughly 3/4 of a stroke per round on the greens, compared to his previous baseline. That translates to nearly 3 full strokes saved per tournament. In elite professional golf, 3 strokes is the massive canyon between finishing in 5th place and hoisting a trophy. His 3-putt percentage was literally cut in half. His make percentage from the dreaded 3 to 5 foot range jumped from a shaky 83% to a rock-solid 90%. He stopped bleeding strokes. He didn't even need to become the best putter in the world. With his otherworldly ball striking, he just needed his putter to be average. But the spider putter didn't just make him average, it made him incredibly dangerous. The exact moment he stopped trying to be the golfer who meticulously uses a line, he became the golfer who simply doesn't need one. And that golfer is significantly harder to beat. This is the part that genuinely terrified the rest of the PGA Tour locker room. When Scheffler made the switch, his putting wasn't just better statistically, it was quieter. In elite golf, quiet is incredibly dangerous. Quiet means the doubt is gone. Quiet means the routine has absolutely nothing left to argue with. Quiet means every single decision is finalized before the backswing even starts. When you watch footage of Scheffler putting now, you aren't just seeing confidence. You are seeing the total absence of mental interference. You are watching a player whose eyes and brain finally agree on the task at hand. He taps into his raw athleticism instead of his mechanical anxieties, and the heavy psychological weight of that quiet putter destroyed the Sunday game plans of every other player inside the ropes. The ultimate proof of concept for any equipment change in golf comes in the second week of April. If a putting philosophy is flawed, the terrifying glass-like greens of Augusta National will expose it immediately. When Scheffler arrived at the Masters in 2024, the pressure was immense. The media wanted to know if the new putter could hold up on the most treacherous surfaces in the world. The greens at Augusta are designed to create doubt. They are incredibly fast, severely sloped, and surrounded by danger. Scheffler didn't blink. He trusted the mallet. He trusted the blank ball. When he faced crucial, tournament-defining par saves on the back nine on Sunday, there was no hesitation. He didn't freeze over the ball, worrying about an end-over-end roll. He visualized the path, trusted his hands, and pulled the putts into the center of the cup. Winning the Masters with this new setup wasn't just a victory. It was a psychological coronation. It proved that his new method wasn't just a temporary hot streak at a regular tour event. It was a permanent evolution that could withstand the heaviest pressure the sport has to offer. Consider what it means to chase a player who no longer possesses a visible weakness. Before the putter switch, a patient opponent could hang around on a Sunday afternoon. They could stay 2 strokes back and trust that eventually Scheffler's blade putter might betray him. They believed he might miss a crucial 4-footer and give a stroke back to the field. That window of hope existed. It was small, but it was real. After the switch, that window slammed shut, and it was locked from the inside. When Scheffler starts pouring in 8-footers on a Sunday, the entire field tightens up. Players who are 2 shots back suddenly feel like they are 5 shots back. When his name goes up on the top of the leaderboard, the calculation for guys like Rory McIlroy, Xander Schauffele, or Colin Morikawa fundamentally changes. It's no longer just about hitting good golf shots. It's the crushing realization that the man ahead of you has already solved the one problem you were counting on him having. He stopped handing tournaments back. The rest of the tour started to understand that they weren't just playing against his elite ball striking anymore. They were playing against a version of Scottie Scheffler that had completely removed the last reliable crack in his armor. The TaylorMade Spider putter didn't suddenly make Scottie Scheffler a great golfer. The greatness was already there, hidden underneath the best tee to green metrics since the prime era of Tiger Woods. What the new putter did, and what the completely blank golf ball did, was stop subtracting from him. That is the profound secret no one talks about in elite sports. Everyone focuses obsessively on what you need to add to your game. A new swing thought, a new specialized coach, a new highly engineered gym routine. The industry is built on addition. Very few people look deeply at what you need to take away. Scottie Scheffler dismantled a system that was secretly giving his own doubt a quiet place to live. He found the absolute best, quietest version of himself by wiping a Sharpie line off a piece of urethane and picking up a putter that let his eyes rest. And that quiet version of Scottie Scheffler, he might just be the most unbeatable force the game of golf has seen in 20 years.